Hello, Snack Pack. Earlier this week, I lost a dear friend and a mentor. Her name was Rachel Luna, and you may not know it, but she had a huge impact on this channel. She died suddenly, and when somebody dies and you don't really expect it, it's very difficult to move on because it really doesn't feel real. Now, I've never cried on this channel, so I'm going to do my best. I have tissues just in case, but I'm sure you can all understand. Throughout this week, I just still cannot wrap my head around it. And in the stages of grief, denial is the first stage, but I'm stuck in denial because she lived in another state. So even though we didn't see each other often, we did text and call. Like, we were just in touch. You know, she's somebody that I could pick up the phone and call. We could text each other. Even last month, she sent me something on Instagram talking about something that would have been cool when I was living in my van. I just cannot imagine not being able to do that. Hold, please. I feel like I can't move forward until I make this video as sort of a dedication to her, because she did have an influence on this channel that you may not know about. And I want to share the story with you because it impacts you if you've been around travel snacks or the snack pack and you've gotten anything out of it. Her influence has rubbed off on you. Pull it together. I know I've shared my origin story of how I started living in my car and in my van many times when I started living in my car at the end of 2019, but what you may not know is that earlier that year, I was struggling with a job that I used to have, that I was at that job for like 11 years, and that's a whole nother story and maybe another video for another time. I was just struggling, and I was just at that point where I was ready to just break free, go travel, and just live my best life. And I knew of this coach, this woman that was like a mighty powerhouse of a woman who kind of coached women on being entrepreneurs and living their best, fullest lives. And, you know, I'm not one to like follow a bunch of people and spend a lot of money. You know me, I'm so cheap. I'm not a person that spends a lot of money on conferences and courses and all these things. But something about her, I was like, I really feel like she might be somebody that I could learn from. So I signed up for one of her conferences in Atlanta, Georgia. And it was like the first weekend in June of 2019. I flew out there, got an Airbnb, went to the conference. And during that conference, when she was up on stage speaking, I just felt aligned with her. I don't know, just, you know, there's certain people that you just know is a person that needs to be in your life. Now, we didn't really know each other. I was just like an attendee at her big conference. But I think it was like on the last day or something, she announced that she was going to open up a mastermind group for a select few women that really wanted to create a business and take it to the next level. And again, if you haven't learned anything about this channel, but you will probably know that I'm a very frugal person with my money. I don't spend my money frivolously. And it was not an insignificant amount of money to join this mastermind group. It was thousands of dollars. And I was like, I feel like I need to do this. At the time, I was already planning to give my 2 weeks notice in the next week after that. So I knew that I was going to have no income. But I prayed about it, and I just felt called to join this mastermind group. So I did, and I met Rachel, and I became part of that mastermind group. And right after that conference, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. But that mastermind group we already paid for it, and it was a 3-month mastermind. She kept going, even though we would have totally understood, all the women that joined would have totally understood if she needed time, but she didn't. She kept going. She kept being there for everybody and helping us through all of our thoughts and ideas about what we wanted to do with our businesses. So I got a lot out of that. You know, at that time, I started my channel, and I did quit my job, and I had no income coming in, and my channel wasn't monetized. This channel was not monetized. I had no money coming in. I just fully was trusting in the Lord to get me through this, because I just felt called to do it. One of the perks or whatever of that mastermind was in January of 2020, you got to go to like a sort of a graduation for the women that made it all the way through the mastermind, and it was in Florida. And I told Rachel, well, I'm going to be living in my car and I'm going to be driving to Florida. And she was like, all right, well, there you go. And so I did that. That's when I started my car life journey, was driving all the way to Florida to be there for that. It wasn't, I don't even know if I even had 1,000 subscribers at the time. So when I went to that event, I kind of felt insecure because a lot of those women had started their businesses, were really well on their way in their businesses. And here I was just starting out in my car life journey with my YouTube channel. And I didn't really have any additional businesses or anything, no income coming in. And so we were sitting around this round table and we were just talking about, our different endeavors. And I was talking about how I really needed to just keep pushing forward and trusting God in this channel. And she's like, you should start asking your audience to donate to the snack fund. And I was like, I don't like to talk about money. And she's like, but you're in a business, like, people want to support you. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just like, don't want to do that. But like, I do need some money to keep going. And she went in her wallet, and I think I don't remember exactly how much, but I think she pulled out a $20 bill and just threw it on the table in front of me. And she's like, that's your first snack fund donation. And then a couple other women went in their wallets and were like, we believe in you. We support you. We know that your snack packers would want to support you too. You just need to have the confidence to do it, to ask. People want to help. You just need to be humble enough to ask for help. And I just sat there crying because Rachel believed in me.
Friend, are you enjoying Travel Snacks as much as I am? I don't know about you, but I freaking love this series. And what I know more than the fact that I love this series is that the only way we're going to help Allison stay on the road is by donating to the Snack Fund.
And from then on, Rachel has been a strong supporter. She was a snack packer. She was one of us. She was there in the beginning. We were still trying to get our 4,000 watch hours, and she was running my videos through all the time, day after day. She was always encouraging me with comments, and she would come on live streams and just say, hey friend, and hey buddy, you're doing great. And some of you may remember that we made a few videos together, which I'll link up here somewhere. And she just was the type of person that loved you no matter what, mess and all. There were several times when I would call and she would be singing the snack pack jingle, snack time. She'd even make the sound effect. She was always wanting me to, push harder, to do more things and to build this channel so that I could build a community that I would love. And she was a big part of that. And there was many times over the years where I talked to her about this channel and she would give me her advice or tips or just thoughts that she had on keeping everything going, even when I was struggling at the end, like staying in my van. And she had just encouragement, and she said, people will still watch your channel, just keep going. Just a beautiful friendship. And she always encouraged me to keep it real on this channel, to always consider my community, the snack pack, and don't worry about anything else. Just trust God through it all, which I used to do more deeply in the beginning. This week really shook me up to remind me, ooh, cut. This week, losing her made me do some really deep reflection and examine what's working in my life and what's not working in my life. And one of the areas that's been glaring at me is this channel. As you know, I took a long break for my mental health, and when I came back a few months ago, I was excited, and I'm still excited to come back and do videos. But things are different in my life. So that makes me feel insecure because my channel was built in a different time in my life where I was more actively traveling. And now I'm not traveling as much. Not that I don't still travel, but there's a lot of other things going on in my life, as I'm sure there's a lot of things going on in your life. We're all aging. There's lots of different things that's happening with probably all of our collective health. We have aging parents. Some of us are empty nesters. We're trying to save for retirement. We're trying to live our best full lives. And this channel does mean a lot to me. But more than anything, the snack pack means a lot to me. That's what it's all about. It's all about relationships. And one of the things that Rachel taught me was to live boldly and to live my best life, which has always been something that I've shared on this channel. You know, go get out and live your best life goal. That's been my motto since the beginning. And I sort of lost the thread, you know, with depending on God through it all. And this week just really reminded me that none of this, like all the other stuff, like the YouTube algorithm, the search engine optimized titles, and the AI generated thumbnails, and all these things that there's a lot of pressure to do when you have a YouTube channel, none of it matters. What does matter is real things, real life, and being able to relate to each other and be like, girl, yes, I hear that too. Like, I love you guys in the comments when you're like, that's me too, you understand me, you get me, you share your stories in the comments. And it just really lifts me up, because I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one that's a little bit crazy in this area. Or like, yes, okay, that happens to other people. And the more we see that for each other in the comments, the more it eases our own hearts and minds. Sitting alone at home doesn't do anything for you. Getting around other people, getting out and living your life, taking walks, going on little vacations, going to beautiful places, those things matter. At the end of the day, our life is quick, and the most important thing is relationships. And I want to share this with you, and then I want to share one thing at the end. But Rachel was very accomplished. She wrote a book. She was on the Today Show. She coached thousands of women. She had many different courses, and she had a thriving business. And she wrote this book called Permission to Offend, which, if you don't have it, just go get it. The main premise, which I just kind of bookmarked here, is her 4 permission slips. I give myself permission to live in truth. I give myself permission to live in faith. I give myself permission to live in freedom. I give myself permission to live in abundance. I'm remembering those permission slips to live in truth, faith, and freedom, and even abundance. I don't know if you guys have ever had a mentor that just was in your life and made such a big difference on you, and I would love to hear about that person in the comments. But I would also love to maybe hear from you, like, which of those permission slips is the one that sticks out to you the most, because the one that really kind of hits me the most is I give myself permission to live in faith, being able to believe in the things that are unseen. And right now there's a lot of variables that are happening in my life, a lot of unseen, unknown things that's like for my future, and I'm sure for you too. So it just makes me take a pause and take a reset and just examine my life and the way that I'm doing things. Just getting back to basics, getting back to myself, and really getting back to God. And I know there's many of you in the snack pack that are believers, and there's probably many of you that are not believers. And at this point in the video, there will probably be comments like, oh, why'd you have to ruin this video with talking about God? Or, you know, you should keep that off of your channel. At the end of the day, that is who I am. I am a believer. I am a child of God, and I believe in Jesus. It is a good idea to examine your faith, especially the older you get, to just see where you stand, because this life is going to end for all of us. That's one thing that Rachel and I both shared, was wanting to live a bold, big, beautiful life. And I want that for you as well. And I would love to honor her together by maybe putting something in the comments like, thank you, Rachel, or Snack Pack loves Rachel, or just something that just would mean a lot to me, to see the Snack Pack rallying around her life and what she meant to me and to this channel. Obviously, I don't want her to be gone, but the only thing that's brought me peace this week is knowing that she was a strong believer in the Lord, and she was at peace with His will. That brings me a lot of comfort. One of the big lessons she taught me was that confidence doesn't come from perfection, it comes from God. And even though I know this, and I've went on that path many times in my life, it's easy to get off course. It's easy to listen to lies that are going on in your head, or stories you're telling yourself that this isn't good enough, people don't care about you, that you're not doing enough. And I'm done with that. I know that there is so many of us, so many on the snack pack that are going through very similar things. And I promise you, this channel's not going to be like a total downer channel. We're not going to be sitting here crying all the time. You know me, I like to have fun, I like to joke around. But there's lots of things that are happening, like with us getting older and just all the things, you know? And I want to be able to share that and be able to discuss that and talk about that, even in the community tab, even in the comments, and just know that you're not alone, that I love you, that there's so many people that love you and care about you. And I know that a lot of us feel very lonely. There's a lot of decisions that I need to make in the very near future. There's some big changes coming in my life, and I'll be talking about that in the next few videos. But I just want to let you know that if you've ever watched any of my videos, if you've ever made a comment, if you've ever sent me an email or a phone call, if you've ever done any of those things, I just want to let you know that I appreciate you truly. You have uplifted me, encouraged me, supported me in so many ways that you will never understand how much that's meant to me. And I thank God for you. Thank you for taking the time to listen to Rachel's story. And until next time, bye for now.
Snack time.